We're live here at Big Boy Ice Arena, where it is the Michigan Girls High School Hockey League playoffs, as we start with a matchup, Ann Arbor Pioneer versus St. Mary's SCA. Ann Arbor Pioneer is 6 wins, 11 losses, and no ties. They were 8th place in Division II with 13 points. St. Mary's was in Division 1. They were no wins, 10 losses, no draws in 6th place in Division 1. But a lot of the times those Division 1 teams, maybe a little tougher competition there. So we'll see what this is. The records get thrown out once you get into the playoffs. Let's take a look at Pioneer. They did lose to Livonia United and then Bloomfield Birmingham, Washtenaw United, and Grosse Pointe North to start off the season. They then beat Bloomfield Birmingham by a score of 6-3. They then fell to Walled Lake. They fell to Regina Lutheran Northern. They beat Huron Skyline. That was a 9-0 win. They lost to Livonia United, to Kransburg Kingsburg, to Walled Lake. They beat Grosse Pointe North by a score of 5-3. They beat Huron Skyline by a score of 3-2. I believe that one went to overtime, if I recall rightly. Then they fell to Cranbrook Kingswood, Regina Lutheran Northern, and they beat Washtenaw United to finish off the season 2-1, and that got them the Treetown Trophy as they won versus Washtenaw United and versus. They won versus Washtenaw United as well as Huron Skyline to give them the Treetown Trophy, which is given to the team that wins the kind of a round robin between those teams in Ann Arbor. Taking a look at the top scores for Pioneer, Chikachi has 18 points on 10 goals and 8 assists. Jolf has 15 points on 11 goals and 4 assists. Heben has 13 points on 11 goals and 2 assists. Portinga has 12 points on 5 goals and 7 assists. And then right at the number 5 spot is Pace. She has 7 points on 3 goals and 4 assists. As far as the goalkeepers go, it has been predominantly Ravelli. She has played 13 games. She has a goals against average of 4.54 and a save percentage of .806, although shots don't always get calculated perfectly at the different rinks there. Soriano is she's played 6 games. She has a 5.82 goals against average and a .826 save percentage. So that's Pioneer, as we are scheduled to get going looks like it'll actually be the teams hitting the ice at 7 p.m. as opposed to puck drop at 7 p.m. So we'll see that the teams should coming out shortly. I know it was a tough trip from the Ann Arbor area through. We got rerouted through all sorts of different things on the GPS. So, hopefully folks are finding their way over here without too much trouble. We got to drive down a large section of Gratiot that I haven't driven down in about 10 years. That was kind of nice. Take a look at St. Mary's. Again, 0-10 and 0, so they fell on the 14th of Mid-Michigan Alliance to Traverse City on the 15th of November. University Liggett beat them. Grosse Pointe South, Traverse City. Greater Flint United, new team this season in the league. Grosse Pointe South, Mid-Michigan Alliance, University Liggett, and Greater Flint United. Again, taking a look at the points. Point total, 1 point for 1 goal. That is for Kanish. And then Small has 1 point on 1 goal. And that appears to be it. Breyer is the goalie of note. She played in all 10 games. Goals against average of 9.90 and a save percentage of 7.94. But again, a lot of the times those Division I teams are maybe a little bit tougher. So we'll see what that ends up in this game. We're very excited to kick off the playoffs. We plan on broadcasting the entire playoffs, so you can find them here at arborbroadcasting.com. We have our Michigan Girls High School Hockey League playoff page, and we have up at the top, we have a video that will have everything going, but because Saturday we'll have 2 concurrent games going and Wednesday we'll have 3 concurrent games going, we also, if you scroll down, have a list of the rinks. We'll have rink 1, which is the rink we're in tonight, the priority rink. Rink 3 will also be used on Saturday, so it'll be 1 and 3 on Saturday. Then we'll add rink 5 on Wednesday. And then we'll all be in rink 1 here for the Division I, the Division II, and the Division III championship games for the state. What a time to be a hockey fan right now. Great things happening in women's hockey. So we really hope the women's team winning gold helps build the hockey in, especially in Michigan, having 2 women, native Michiganders on the team, and Megan Keller, of course, scoring the overtime golden goal. She's a Michigan native. She went and played in BC because there is no D1 NCAA women's hockey in this state at this point. But hopefully they can pivot off of that gold for the women's. And again, hopefully they are inspiring and getting a lot of young women to embrace this fantastic sport of hockey, give it a try, and see if they like it. So we are really, really proud to be here with you and bringing you these playoffs. As we count down, should be in a couple minutes, we'll get the 5-minute countdown. More and more folks are coming in here. We appreciate that. The officials getting the nets put back on their mooring. Again, if you're coming down and you haven't gotten here yet, we are in the Big Boy Arena, formerly Frazier's Hockey Land. 5 different rinks here. When you come in the main doors, if you go to the left, rink 1, the priority rink, named after the sponsor Priority Waste, is you go into the left, and the Michigan Girls High School Hockey League has some banners up there and everything else. As everybody getting ready to go here, as St. Mary's is in their black sweaters out there with numbers in white on the back and on the sleeves. They have the M for St. Mary's on the front. They have black pants and black socks with white trim all across. So Pioneer will be in their home sweaters, as they are the home team. They should be out here momentarily. Longtime coach and help founder of the Pioneer women's team, Natalie Grantham, over across the way, right for the scores box. And looks like she's going to help run possibly the box over there, the penalty box. I think we have the scores box across the way, 1 penalty box to the left, 1 to the right. Both benches are on the near side. So St. Mary's getting themselves warmed up, getting ready to go. Again, March 28th is going to be a PWHL game up at Little Caesars Arena. If you want to love to see a big crowd there, the former U.S. attendance record for women's hockey used to belong to Detroit. That got shattered this season with Seattle, and then I think D.C. had like 17,000, something like that. So we'd love to get a big crew in and have lots of folks out there and prove that Detroit deserves a PWHL team. That would also probably help the effort of growing this amazing sport of women's hockey in Michigan. Well, we'll step away. We'll play just a little bit of music, and we'll be right back with your opening puck drop in just about 5 minutes. Pioneer has now come out. We'll get a little rink noise in the background there. Pioneer in their white sweaters with the dark stripe across the middle, numbers in black on the back and on the sleeves. The blockades for Pioneer on the front. They have the dark shorts and the socks with a nice big thick black stripe. Pioneer will be going from left to right, St. Mary's right to left here in this opening period. As we are counting down 2 minutes 40 seconds. Here at Big Boy Arena. Plenty of fantastic seats left if you're in the area. We'd love to see you down here to kick off the Michigan Girls High School Hockey League playoffs. As both of these squads getting warmed up. Breyer in net for St. Mary's. Over across the way, both Ravelli and Soriano getting warmed up for Pioneer. Again, Ravelli has played the majority of the games, but not positive who will be getting the start as both of these squads getting warmed up. Should have some Michigan Girls High School Hockey League merch here as well as you come down. Check that out. And today they're, again, in the tunnel that comes over to Rink 1. I think once they have things going in Rink 1 and Rink 2, they'll probably be in that main area as you come in the sliding glass doors at Big Boy Arena. As squads getting warmed up, ready to go. So we have about a minute left. There will be 8 games on Saturday starting at 10 o'clock. A game at 10 o'clock, 10:15. A game at noon, 12:15. A game at 2, 2:15. And a game for 4 and 4:15. On Wednesday, there will be 6 games, a 6 o'clock, 2 6 o'clocks at 6:15. They'll be in ranks 1, 3, and 5. And then 3 8 o'clocks, 2 at 8 o'clock, 1 at 8:15 happening on Wednesday. And then the 3 championship games on that next Saturday, so a week from this Saturday. Those will be all happening here in Rink 1. Take a look and see if I can find those. Those games for the final will be Division III Championship on March 7th. I don't believe we're already to March. That's going to be at noon. The Division II will be at 2:15, and the Division I at 4:30. As public address announcer up on the mic. Can't quite understand them, but that's okay. We're over on the opposite side. Both of these squads getting lined up again. Pioneer going from left to right. St. Mary's going right to left. Coming on down and worried about missing the Red Wings game, there is a bar over to the left. So coming out is Gama, and then Pilar skating out starting for St. Mary's. Ross skates to the blue line, and then Small, and it's going to be Kanish getting the start, and then Breyer between the pipes for St. Mary's. Now for Pioneer. Coming out, Chikachi to the blue line. Portinga to the blue line. Pace comes out, the other forward. Alexis Young as one of the blue liners. And then Horvath, the other blue liner. And skating out is going to be Ravelli, who will be between the pipes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, the playing of the national anthem. As we're about to get ready to go. 15 minutes up on the clock as they accidentally are replaying the national anthem across the way. Ravelli getting set to the left. Breyer getting her helmet on to go over to the right. Yeah, 2 official system today. We really appreciate the officials. We cannot have the games we love without them. If you ever think that you can do a better job, reach out to your local hockey teams, reach out to the Michigan Girls High School Hockey League or the MHSAA, because we cannot have the games we love without the officials. Portinga set to take the face-off. On the other side is Pillars. That puck in along the far boards, brought in outside the far circle. Centering attempt, that tip by Portinga, shot by Chikachi. That comes off to the far side. Back over to grab it. Pillars bringing it ahead down the far boards. That into the neutral zone. Chip back in along the near boards. Ross reaches back to get it. Chikachi chips it ahead for Pioneer. Battle for it right in front of the Pioneer bench. Trying to pull that away. Pillars has it. Trying to feed it all the way across. That grab poked away back over there from Gott. Now coming down the far boards. Here comes Pace. Top of the far circle. Pace trying to fire it back. That tip by St. Mary's. Ross races over just into the neutral zone. That chip by Estella Young. Grabbed in the battle for it right in front of the St. Mary's bench. Now that comes back to center ice. Here comes Portinga. Portinga gains his own. Portinga coming into the slot. Portinga with the shot. Stopped by Breyer. 14:01 left to go here in the first. 0-0 is the score. Face-off in the near face-off circle. Heben in to take the face-off. On the other side is Freeman. That puck back to the high slot. Jof moves it onto the far circle. Racing back trying to get it to Heben. Fired by Freeman outside the far circle. Shot goes right back behind. In along the near boards. And sent back deep by Estella Young into the near corner. Now pulling it away and working around. Freeman had it into the near corner. Now puck goes all the way across. Back to the far point. Slips past into the neutral zone. Pioneer going back to get it in their own zone. Jof has it. Jof weaving through traffic over center ice. Jof gains the St. Mary's zone. Jof over onto the far circle. Shot by Heben and a score! Pioneer scores at 13-18. Put in by Heben. That gives Pioneer a 1-0 lead. Try and get our scoreboard updated there. Face off right at center ice. 13-18 left to go here in the first. That puck chipped ahead by Ramaya. Grabbed in along the near boards of the neutral zone. Racing over to get his feinter. That pulled in by Woodside into the St. Mary's zone. Now Bergman trying to fire it back deep. Back over there trying to get to it is Kirakoza. Now coming the other direction into the zone. Tipped away from Small. Small comes into the near corner for St. Mary's. Small sends it over onto the near side of the goal. That puck ricocheted off the near board. Back to the near point. Shot there by Pilar. Saved by Ravelli into the near corner. Grabbed there by Cundiff. Cundiff back in along the end boards. Back behind her own goal. Feeds it in along the far boards. Rosenfeld trying to get to it. That puck sent back by Gumma outside the near circle. Here comes Bergman. Bergman trying to get it out of the zone. That pulled into the neutral zone. Chipped ahead by Woodside all the way down the far boards. Feinter trying to get to it. And chipped down now. Rosenfeld sends it into the slot, but that moved by Small in along the near boards. Held in by Bergman at the near point. Puck into the near corner. Picked up back behind by Kiriakosa. Kiriakosa trying to dig it out of there, battling with Rosenfeld in along the end boards, right back behind the St. Mary's goal. Still trying to dig it out of there. Feinter in there as well. Now pulling it away, coming down the near boards is Pillars. Pillars moves it ahead. Racing with it is Ramaya. Now knocked in along the far boards. Feinter trying to hold it in. Feinter has it, top of the far circle. Now trying to spin with it. Woodside moves it outside the far circle. Into the far corner. Rosenfeld gathering it up there. Now here comes Pillars. Pillars brings it over her own blue line, over center ice. Pillars gets into the zone. That poked away. Good defense by Bergman. Comes in along the far boards of the neutral zone. And sent right back over as Kanish trying to fire it back deep. That goes into the Pioneer zone, right back behind Ravelli. Trying to get to it is Alexis Young. That puck all the way back to the far point. Fired, tipped, grabbed. Now Pioneer gets it back to the far point. Alexis Young trying to get it out of there, but good job by Small to hold it in. Puck out into the neutral zone. Here comes Portinga. Portinga, top of the far circle, moves it over, trying to get it over to Chikachi. Chikachi, high slot, backhands it in front. That tipped out. Outside the near circle, picking it up there, trying to move it around is Ramaya. Now that puck, Chikachi has it high slot right at the blue line, pulled away, fired all the way to the other side by Gumma. Now Pilar's outside the far circle. Puck right back behind the Pioneer goal. Horvath trying to move it around. Puck right to the blue line. Sent back by Kirakosa. And pulled right back into the Pioneer zone. Alexis Young, top of the far circle in her own zone. Racing over, trying to get to it is Marcelo. Now Chikachi trying to bring it into the St. Mary's zone. Freeman chips it right back into the neutral zone. Fired right back in deep is Saragiosa. Now pulling it down the near boards. Bringing it into the zone is Kanish. Kanish into the high slot. Shot that just went over the crossbar. Picked up back behind. Now here comes Heben. Heben down the near boards. That was poked away back over there by Marcel. Still battling outside the near circle, trying to dig it away. There's a cross-ice pass. Ricochets off the far board, bringing it ahead. Here comes Housen. Housen gets it over in along the near boards. Bacalus with it. Bacalus for Pioneer, trying to fire it back in deep is Heben. Now Estella Young trying to get to it. That into the high slot. Housen trying to pull that away, and it comes back into the neutral zone. Jof has it as she spins in the neutral zone right at center ice. Jof, and off of Bacalus' skate, bringing it ahead is Estella Young. Now Bacalus brings it into the St. Mary's zone in along the near boards. That comes into the high slot. Heben with it. Heben, the pink stick on the tape. That shot knocked away by Breyer, and they're going to say that the official lost track of that puck, so they're going to drop it in the St. Mary's zone. 8:59 left to go here in the first. 1-0 Pioneer with the lead. That was a goal at 13-18 by Heben. So talking to Soriano. Soriano skates across the way. I think, just needed a place for another player to be off the bench. As that puck into the far corner. Gumma trying to bring it ahead. Knocked down by Cundiff, sending it right back behind. Now Small has it. Back behind her own goal. Small sending it in along the far boards. That puck back into the neutral zone. Racing over to get to it. Fainters moves it over to Bergman. Bergman moves it down the near boards. St. Mary's knocks it right back into the neutral zone down the near boards. Now it comes into the St. Mary's zone. That fired all the way around by moved by Kirakosa. Right back behind the goal. Fainter moves it into the near corner. That back to the near point. Bergman has it there. Knocked down, top of the near circle. Coming ahead with it. Ross trying to get to it at center ice. Pilar is there as well. Comes all the way over. Kung sends it all the way back into the St. Mary's zone. Chipped ahead down the near boards. Ross has it there. Ross fires it into the Pioneer zone. That in along the end boards. Grab by Cundiff back behind her own goal as we approach the 8-minute mark here in the first. Cundiff moves it down the near boards. Here comes Woodside. Woodside trying to chip it out of there. Held in and sent back into the far corner. Gumma with it there for St. Mary's. Coming around, they're deflected all the way back into the neutral zone as that puck will go all the way back. Icing called. That will head back into the Pioneer zone. 7:44 left to go here in the first. 1-0 is the score. Pioneer with the lead. Face off. In the far face-off circle, that will be to Ravelli's left. Freeman in to take the face-off versus Portinga. And puck into the far corner. Grabbed there by Alexis Young. Alexis Young feeding it. Back to the far point. Pace trying to get it down the far boards. Freeman trying to knock it away from her. Loose. Pace gets it into the zone. Pace outside the far circle in the St. Mary's zone. That puck back into the far corner. Fired all the way around by Small. Puck outside the near circle now. Horvath trying to hold it in. Kanish into the near corner. Kanish Back behind your own goal, feeds it into the far corner. And brought ahead with it, Saragianza. Saragianza sends it back into the far corner. Pulled away there. Horvath trying to feed it outside the far circle. Now fired right through the crease. Good opportunity for St. Mary's, bringing it ahead. Here comes Chikachi. Chikachi trying to bring it ahead. Chikachi outside the near circle. That fired across, but knocked away. Good defense back over there by Kanish. Kanish rims the puck around as Saragianis has it outside the far circle. Puck right back behind the St. Mary's goal. Fire down to the far circle. Pace trying to get a shot away. That blocked by Freeman back to the blue line. Now Jof has it. Jof on the far circle. Jof with the blast. Good save there by Breyer. Puck into the far corner. Now bringing it back behind. Working her way around is Jof into the slot. Shot there. That got blocked by Kanish. Puck into the near corner. Here comes St. Mary's down the near boards. So they get it, trying to get it into the neutral zone as Kirakosa trying to poke that away as that puck comes all the way in along the far boards. Saragianis had it back there, but held in by Pioneer. Shot that just goes over the crossbar. Kanish moves it into the far corner. Now Freeman coming down the far boards with it. Freeman, top of the far circle, that move right back into the neutral zone. Stella Young for Pioneer brings it into the St. Mary's zone. That tipped away as Kanish fired all the way down the far boards. Stella Young back to get it now. That'll be grabbed by Cundiff in the Pioneer zone. Cundiff feeds it to center ice. Heben bringing it ahead. And deflected right back into the Pioneer zone. Cundiff loses an edge. Back to get it is Bergman into the far corner. 5:24 left to go here in the first. 1-0. Pioneer with the lead. St. Mary's has in the Pioneer zone, but here comes Heben. Heben gains the St. Mary's zone outside the near circle. Heben into the near corner. Puck right back behind the goal. Tipped back over there by Housen. Now fired ahead. Grabbing it, moving it ahead is Ramaya. Couldn't get it out of the zone. As here comes Heben. Heben trying to get to it. That poked away. Good job back there by Kirakosa to take that away from Heben. Heben gets it back into the near corner. Kirakosa making it difficult. Right out in front, a shot, and that got blocked. Great job by the St. Mary's defense. That puck in along the near boards. That was brought out by Ramsey. Now, Bacala's trying to move it ahead down the near boards. Heben brings it right back into the St. Mary's zone. Heben onto the near circle. Good job to poke that away by Kirakosa back outside the near circle. Still trying to dig it away as Bacala's battled there. Kirakosa trying to put in the far circle. That shot by Bacala's all the way back to the far point. Cundiff holds it in there. 4:22 left to go here in the first. Heben gets it onto the near circle for Bacala's. Bacala's trying to fire at Kirakosa. Good job on defense there. Bergman with a shot that just goes wide to the far side. That pull back behind, working her way around is Small. Small has it outside the near circle. Bergman trying to fire it back deep into the corner. Pillars has it back behind her own goal. That fed in along the far boards. Loose on the top of the far circle trying to get to that is Sarah Giancis. Knocked down. He'd been trying to get a shot. Good defense by St. Mary's. That poked into the near corner by Woodside. Ricocheted off the near board, right back to the blue line. Bergman able to hold it in. It was racing over. Kirakosa picks it up back behind her own goal. That fired all the way around. Sarah Giancis has it in front of her own goal, trying to poke that away. So that'll come all the way back. That'll be fired all the way down the ice. That'll end up a shot on goal. It'll be moved over as picking up down the near boards. Here comes Horvath for Pioneer. To the Pioneer blue line. Now racing ahead with it is Housen. Housen has that poked away. Coming down the far boards, Freeman has it. Knocked away by Horvath. Freeman backhanded shot. That goes into the far corner. Centering attempt goes right through the crease as Gumma had it. And that puck fired, held in, tipped away as that puck just on the near side of the goal. Pulled back by Gumma. Battling it right out in front. Trying to fire it in there was Freeman. Freeman has it back behind the Pioneer goal. Freeman onto the near circle. Gumma trying to get to it. Now down the near boards. And moved right back in by Ramaya. Ramaya had it outside the near circle of the Pioneer zone. Now that puck into the neutral zone. Coming ahead with it is Rosenfeld. Rosenfeld into the Pioneer zone, tipped away, but that grab, shot by Fainter, deflects into the near corner. And fired by Gumma all the way around at top of the near circle. Estella Young trying to knock it down. Now Freeman feeds it, backhanded into the neutral zone as Freeman trying to feed it down the far boards. And puck will go into the Pioneer end. Estella Young tips it ahead to Fainter. Fainter over center ice. Fainter moves it down the far boards over to Rosenfeld, trying to poke that away as Small. Puck at the blue line, deflection as Chikachi comes in onto the far circle. Chikachi with that shot. And puck knocked away, pulled. Freeman tips it. Now Small in along the near boards, grabbing it. Gumma into the neutral zone, knocked away by Estella Young. Estella Young trying to get it back as that puck comes all the way along the far boards of the St. Mary end. Battle for it right at center ice. As trying to pull that away was Gumma. There's a shot from the far circle and a save by Breyer. 1:22 left to go here in the first. 1-0 Pioneer with the lead. Face off in the St. Mary's zone, that to Breyer's right. Pilar's in to take the face off versus Portinga. Cundiff races in. Now ready for the face off. Puck into the far corner. And pulled all the way around the boards by Pilar's back to the near point. Bergman holds it in. That deflects back into the neutral zone. Bergman has it at center ice. Gets it over to Cundiff. Cundiff down the near boards. That just slips past Marcial. Into the near corner. Chikachi with it. Chikachi battling with Pilar's. That pulled away by Kirakosa. He fires it all the way down and now goes skittering into the Pioneer zone. 53 seconds left in the first. 1-0 Pioneer with the lead. Bergman has it down the near boards of her own zone. Fired ahead, back into the St. Mary's end, into the near corner. Kirakosa has it there, back behind her own goal from the near side to the far side. Kirakosa firing it. Got knocked down, bringing it ahead. Here comes St. Mary's over center ice. Freeman has it over to Pilar's. Shot that deflects. Good save by Ravelli. Puck and back. That is going to be a whistle and a penalty. Hooking call at 29 seconds left. Pioneer penalty for hooking. Cundiff into the box, and St. Mary's will have the extra skater 5-on-4 for the remainder of this period, and then if they don't score, they'll have it for 1 minute 31 seconds of the opening of the second period. Pilar's across the way in to take the face-off versus Heben. And puck right into the slot, battling for it, pulled away, keeping it in, coming down the near boards, and fed right back over by Pilar's. That puck, firing it, Ravelli with the save. Puck into the near corner. Sent back to the near point. Kanish holds it in. Kanish trying to move it. Here comes Heben. Heben over center ice. Heben races ahead. 2-on-2. Heben into the slot. Heben makes a move. That goes just to the wide side. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. That will do it for the first. At the end of one, it is Pioneer 1 and St. Mary's nothing, but St. Mary's will have the power play, beyond the power play for 1 minute 31 seconds of the second period. So we'll play really quickly a little bit of music, and we will get right back going here with your second period action. As we are about to get back going, they will resurface the ice between the second and third period. St. Mary's going from left to right. Pioneer going from right to left here in the second period. 15 minutes up on the clock. 1:32 on the power play. Extra second, but that's okay. Face off, that comes. Trying to pull it deep is Kanish, but in along the near boards. Fire back deep into the Pioneer end by Kanish. Now Estella Young has it into the far corner. Estella Young feeds it ahead. That knocked down. Right into the slot, trying to poke it away. And it comes back to the near point now, racing ahead with it. Here comes Chikachi. In along the far boards, trying to get around Kirakosa. Shot there! Good save by Breyer. That puck comes outside the near circle. And it'll come back into the neutral zone. Here comes Pioneer. Portinga with a shot that just goes wide to the near side. Puck outside the near circle, trying to hold it in. Tipped all the way back, bouncing puck right to center ice. Kanish battling back there. Chikachi trying to get Chikachi onto the far circle. Chikachi shot that just goes wide to the near side. 40 seconds left to go in the power play. As that puck back to the near point. Joe feeds it over to Portinga. Top of the far circle shot. Breyer with the save. 31 seconds left to go in the power play for St. Mary's. 1-0 Pioneer with the lead. Face-off is going to be in the far face-off circle. That is the Breyer's left. Eben in to take the face-off. On the other side is Freeman. As Bacallis comes out, so Pioneer with 4 players for the next 31 seconds. Puck outside the far circle, bringing it ahead. That held in. Kirakosa trying to get it out of there. Down the near board. Small gets it down the near circle. Trying to fire it in. Saragianis moves it across. Here comes Freeman with the shot. Saved by Ravelli. Puck comes into the near corner. As Saragianis moves it back. That puck will go all the way down. Kirakosa has it into her own zone. Penalty has expired. 5-on-5 hockey again. Alexis Young feeds it all the way back deep into the St. Mary's zone. Picked up there, coming ahead down the near boards. Eben knocks it away. Kirakosa has it. As she'll get out of her own zone, fires it. They'll go all the way back deep on edge, back into the Pioneer end. Cundiff has it back behind her own goal. Cundiff switches, going from the near side to the far side. Cundiff into the far corner, trying to bring it ahead. Freeman back over, trying to make it difficult. Cundiff moves it ahead to Eben. Eben into the zone. Kirakosa knocking away. Eben stops, trying to flip it, top of the far circle. Collision with Freeman. And puck moved over. Bacallis over to Eben. Eben, good job to knock that away. Saragianis moves it back, picked up. Now coming ahead with it is Freeman. Freeman outside the near circle. Freeman moves it across. That knocked away. It was a good job by Bergman. That is going to be offside as it came outside the blue line. And it'll bring it in the face-off circle just outside of the Pioneer zone. Near face-off circle. 12:26 left to go here in the second. Portinga versus Pillars in the near face-off circle. Puck in along the near boards. Fired back. Ramsey tried to get to it. Now Alexis Young feeds it to center ice. Working it. Ahead is Portinga. Portinga, top of the far circle. Tried to get it over to Chikachi. Pillars moving it. Held in by Chikachi. Chikachi with a shot. Knocked down. Saved by Breyer. Puck into the far corner. Chikachi has it there. Chikachi backhands it right back behind the St. Mary's goal. Portinga trying to get it there. Kirakosa trying to pull it away. Pillars in the far corner of her own zone. Puck loose as Chikachi trying to hold it in. That slips back into the neutral zone. Racing ahead with it. Here comes St. Mary's firing it back deep. As that brought all the way across by Ramsey. Puck outside the near circle. Holding it in is Kanish. Kanish holds it in at the near point. Puck outside the near circle. Now come back into the neutral zone. Kanish with it there. Kanish goes from the near side to the far side. Kanish fires it deep into the Pioneer end. Horvath chases it in along the end boards. 11:26 left to go here in the second. Horvath switches directions, trying to go from the Near side to the far side, rims it all the way across over to Chikachi. Chikachi over on blue line, coming over center ice. Chikachi gaining the zone, leaves it over top of the near circle, over for Pace. Pace backhands it into the slot, shot there. Amazing save by Breyer, sliding from the near side to the far side, able to cover that up. And an excellent save on a beautiful pass across the way. Pioneer had a player right in front of the crease, and good save by Breyer. 1-0. Pioneer with the lead. 11:07 left to go. Fainter in to take the face-off. Small on the other side. Or excuse me, Freeman on the other side. Small over on the far side of the face-off circle. And puck into the far corner. Brought all the way around outside the near circle. St. Mary's trying to move it out of there. As Pilares gets it all the way back deep. Puck outside the near circle in the Pioneer zone to Stella Young. Trying to feed it right back into the neutral zone. Kanish has it there. Kanish ricochets it off the near board. Back over. Saragiansis had it. Now bringing it in is that pulled over by Rosenfeld. Puck outside the far circle. Now back to the far point. Poke down there. Held in by Stella Young. Puck back behind the St. Mary's goal. Kanish has it there. Kanish moves it in along the far boards. Chipped right back into the slot. Knocked down by Kanish. Kanish brings it ahead. Kanish for St. Mary's over the blue line. Kanish over center ice. Kanish gains the Pioneer zone. Kanish shot there is that. Knocked away by Ravelli outside the far circle. Battle for it back over there. Trying to feed it ahead. Ramaya. Ramaya battling in along those far boards. That puck slips right back into the neutral zone. Racing ahead to get it is Woodside. That into the far corner of the St. Mary's zone. 10 minutes left to go here in the second. Picking up Bergman. Bergman brings it ahead. That puck gathered up down the far boards. Small fires it. That will be right to the Pioneer blue line. Bacallis knocks it in along the near board. Howson brings it into the St. Mary's zone. As that puck top of the far circle trying to fire it away was Ramaya. Held in at the blue line. Good job by Bergman. Shot there, but that knocked away by Ramaya. That'll go all the way down into the Pioneer zone, racing back to get it. Won't quite cross the goal line. Bergman has it back behind her own goal. Coming down the near boards. And puck deflects. Now, top of the far circle, centering attempt knocked away from Freeman. Trying to hold it in was Ramaya. Now here comes the puck down the boards. Fired ahead with it, bringing it in. Here comes Bacallis with a backhanded shot. Good save by Breyer. As the net came off of its moorings. Face-off will be in the far face-off circle inside of the St. Mary's zone. Eben in to take the face-off. Pilar's on the other side. That comes, shot by Howson. Deflected back into the far corner. Eben centering attempt. Good job to knock it away from right out in front by Small. Puck, high slot now moved all the way down. 8:45 left to go. They'll come into the Pioneer zone, into the near corner. Horvath has it. We're here in the second period. 1-0 Pioneer with the lead. Kirakosa holds it in at the far point. Now Horvath into the far corner for Pioneer. Back behind her own goal. Horvath underneath the near circle, trying to get it away from Gumma. And puck back all the way down. Kirakosa back into her own zone to get it. Puck in along the end boards. Kirakosa has it back behind there. Kirakosa into the near corner. Now it comes in along the far boards. Working it ahead. Down the near boards is Kanish. Kanish bringing it ahead. Kanish fires it back deep into the Pioneer zone. That puck right back behind the Pioneer goal. It's Stella Young trying to fire it down the far boards. Knocked down. Jof has it back behind her own goal. Into the near corner. Jof trying to bring it down the near boards. Pilar's races to get it, trying to chip it away from Jof. Puck outside the near circle. Kirakosa gets it right back to center ice. Estella Young has it at her own blue line. 7:45 left to go here in the second. Puck outside the far circle in the St. Mary's zone. Kanish has it there. Kanish back behind her own goal. Rimmed all the way around. Outside the near circle. Fainter has it, trying to get it to Heben. That loose in the slot. Pulled away, heading the other direction with it Here comes Kanish over center ice. Kanish gains the zone. Chikachi trying to poke that away. Kanish fires it into the far corner. Jof back to get to it. Jof fires it all the way around the rim, trying to get to it. As Pace has it, that poke right to the near side of the goal. Back to get it. Gumma has it. That loose top of the far circle, picked up now. Fired ahead by Estella Young. Held in by Kanish. That's sent top of the near circle. Joe fires it all the way down the ice. That'll be a shot on goal. Deflects into the far corner to avoid an icing. Kanish moves it in along into the near corner of the St. Mary's zone. Pace trying to get to it there. Battle for it outside the near circle. Held in by Cundiff at the near point. That goes into the far corner. Chikachi has it outside the far circle. Chikachi to the blue line. Chikachi stopped. Chikachi fires it. That knocked down. Loose picking it up. Portinga trying to center attempt. That got knocked down. Good defense by Small. Back to the near point. Cundiff has it. Cundiff high slot. Cundiff shot there. Saved by Breyer into the near corner. Cundiff with it in along the end board. She's poked off the puck. Comes right back outside the near circle. Portinga looking to get to it. Now that puck comes back into the near corner. Knocked down, loose. Trying to pull that away. Portinga has it. Portinga. And puck loose into the slot. Kanish coming down the far boards. Kanish gets it. And deflects all the way back into the Pioneer end. Cundiff has it in the far corner underneath the far circle. Cundiff trying to avoid pressure back over there by Marcio. Now Freeman moves it back. Puck fired by Kirakosa down the far boards. Grabbed and sent right back in by Bergman. Puck right back behind the St. Mary's goal. Fired top of the far circle. Now a blast from Bergman from the far point. Saved by Breyer. Knocked away by Kirakosa. Now Freeman fires it. Held in by Pace at the blue line. High slot shot comes outside the near circle. Portinga trying to get to it there. And deflected. Here comes Rosenfeld with the shot that just goes wide. Racing over Kirakosa has it back behind your own goal underneath the near circle. Kirakosa feeds it down the near board, trying to fire it out of the zone. Back into the neutral zone it goes. Horvath with it. Now Portinga. Alexis Young trying to feed it ahead. That goes back into the zone. Small has it back behind the St. Mary's goal with 4:44 left to go here in the second. 1-0. Pioneer with the lead with a goal at 13-18 in the first. Now Small has it into the slot. Good job to poke it away by Alexis Young. Small trying to feed it out in front. And Alexis Young trying to knock it away. Now comes outside the far circle. Horvath trying to get it away from Freeman. Kirakosa has it into the far circle shot. Comes underneath the near circle, trying to bring it around. Still loose. Now chipped right to center ice. Kanish trying to feed it back in deep into the Pioneer zone. Horvath into the far corner of her own zone. Horvath moves it. Now coming down the near boards is Kong. Trying to move it across. That puck gathered up. Freeman pokes it ahead. Right at the Pioneer zone. That moved all the way back into the St. Mary's end. Kirakosa feeds it ahead. Here comes Freeman into the slot. Freeman coming onto the far circle. Pulled away by Horvath. Horvath moves it in along the near boards. Battling a good St. Mary's attack. Shot from the top of the near circle by Kanish. Deflects off onto the far circle. Ross trying to feed it out in front. That puck deflects into the near corner. 3:30 left to go. Now coming back. Right back behind Jof trying to get to it. Centering attempt. Shot by Freeman. Just goes wide into the near corner. 3:15 left to go here in the second. And puck brought down through the neutral zone. Here comes Jof. Jof coming in. Save by Breyer. As in on the near boards. Kirakosa trying to get it. And tipped all the way back as it's a foot race between Estella Young and Ross. Puck outside the far circle. Still trying to poke away at it. Centering attempt by Ross. Knocked down by Jof. Feeds it to the blue line. Here comes Heben. Heben racing over center ice. Heben for Pioneer. Gains the St. Mary's zone. Good job to poke the way by Kanish. Shot goes just wide by Housen into the far corner. Heben trying to pull it out of there. As pulling that back the other direction is Pillars. In along the near boards. into the near corner, trying to dig it out of there as Cundiff moves it. Now Howson has it. That deflected into the near corner. Freeman trying to fire it ahead. Battle for it at the near point. Still trying to dig that away. Here comes Heben with a shot and a goal. 2:09 left to go here in the second. Pioneer takes a 2-0 lead. That was Heben again, right? Indeed. 2:08 left to go here in the second. 2-0 Pioneer with the lead. Portinga battling Pilars at center ice. That pulled back by Chikachi now. Cundiff moving it in along the far boards. Moved ahead. Chikachi over center ice. Gets it over to Portinga. Portinga into the slot. Moves it over in along the near boards. Pace trying to center it up. Good job to knock it down by Pilars. Puck outside the near circle. Cundiff trying to fire it around. Now Small has it. Small puts it into the far corner. Ramsey trying to dig it out of there. Puck comes back to the far point. Shot by Bergman out in front. Wouldn't settle down for Pace. And along the near boards. Now trying to bring it ahead is Pilars. Puck to the blue line. Grab. Loose. Still battling. Back into the neutral zone. Chikachi feeds it down the far boards. Now here comes Kanish. Kanish sends it ahead right to center ice. And firing it right back by Chikachi into the far corner. 1:17 left to go here in the second. Small has it underneath the near circle. Small bringing it ahead, held in by Portinga. Portinga moves it in along the near boards. Portinga outside the near circle. That deflects into the near corner. 1 minute left to go here in the second. 2-0 Pioneer with the lead. And St. Mary's battling hard. That puck into the slot. Shot by Pace and a good save by Breyer. In along the far boards. That puck brought to blue line, fired back by Portinga into the far corner. Small has it there. Small moves it in along the near boards. Howson with it. 48 seconds left to go here in the second. Puck, bouncing puck. Racing over, trying to get to it. Chikachi has it onto the far circle, trying to get around. Pilars knocked it down. Pace with the shot and a save by Breyer. 26.2 seconds left to go here in the second. Face off in the near face-off circle. That to Breyer's right. Fainter in to take the face-off versus Freeman. Puck into the far corner. Coming ahead, Woodside with it. Woodside trying to get around Ramaya. Ramaya battling with Woodside now outside that far circle. Tip back into the far corner. Kirakosa with it there. Kirakosa trying to fire it all the way around. Now Ramaya, that's sent right back in. Knocked down by Small. Small. That's sent down, and that will do it for the second. At the end of 2, it is Pioneer 2 and St. Mary's nothing. We will be back with the third period action coming up. As we are about back for the third, the officials still need to move one of the nets over. But taking a look, by the way, last year, in last year's playoff, Pioneer got to the Division II finals at Eddie Egger Ice Arena, where Pioneer did fall to Regina Lutheran North. That was in the Division II playoffs. And then St. Mary's, St. Catherine's Academy, that's what the SCA stands for, they started with the playoff game. They beat Walled Lake to win that one 8-3. Then they played University Liggett and won that one 5-3. Then they went ahead and played Grosse Pointe South, and that was in the quarterfinals. Grosse Pointe South ended up winning that one. But St. Mary's made a good run last year in the playoffs. Hoping to do the same this year. Pioneer hoping to make a big run as well. It's a bit of a different season where you have Division 1, 2, and 3 this season. So the official gets the net on its moorings over on the right-hand side. We are ready for the third period action. 2-0 Pioneer with the lead. St. Mary's looking to have a big start to this third period. Blars in to take the face-off versus Heben. As we are getting ready to go. Third period of the opening game of the Michigan Girls High School Hockey League playoffs here for 2026. Puck stuck in a wet spot back behind the Pioneer goal. Trying to move it around. Pilar's trying to chip that away. And puck comes all the way ahead. Racing ahead with it is Housen. Housen onto the far circle. Housen has that tipped away. Good job back over there, as that was an excellent move back over there by Sarah Giannis. Puck back, top of the far circle, fired. Breyer covering it up. 14:20 left to go here in the third. Face-off in the St. Mary's zone. We'll have it in the far face-off circle. Portinga in to take the face-off versus Freeman. Puck sent around the boards into the near corner. Kirakosa with it there. Kirakosa trying to move it ahead. Puck still battling outside the near circle with it. And fired is deflected back into the far corner. Small trying to move it ahead to the far point. Held in by Jof. And shot deflected right back behind the St. Mary goal. Firing it out in front. Skip past Portinga's stick. There's a shot by Pace. Knocked ahead and covered up. Kirakosa with some excellent defense in the slot to keep a hard shot away from Pioneer. That face-off will come into the near face-off circle. That to Breyer's left. Freeman again in to take the face-off versus Portinga. 13:53 left to go here in the third. 2-0 Pioneer with the lead. Snap puck outside the near circle. Chikachi trying to pull that away. Back to the near corner shot there. Good job to deflect that away by Breyer. Now coming down the far boards, racing ahead with it is Small. 2-on-1. That puck comes over, knocked away by Ravelli, and then poked in as St. Mary scores. I believe that was Small at 13:32. Indeed, it does look like it was Small. Two to one, as we were saying, St. Mary's wanted to come out strong at the top of the third, and they did that. It's now a one-goal game. Heben in to take the face-off at center ice. Freeman on the other side. As there's a few Pioneer fans here, you hear the Let's Go Pio chant going on. Puck in along the far boards. Freeman trying to chip it away. Here comes Heben. Heben trying to work her way through. And puck tipped away. Good job into the near corner. Trying to feed it around is Kanish. And back over. Romaya feeding it ahead. Knocked away. As trying to bring it right back in is Housen. Housen trying to pull it away from Freeman. Now Heben trying to get to it. That pulled ahead. Saragianis with it in along the far boards as It's a quintet back there. Puck in along. Now picked up by Bacalus. Bacalus at center ice. Chipped by Housen. That puck comes outside the far circle. Is fired back by Kirakosa. Now down the near boards. Bacalus has it. Bacalus sends it in. Now Heben with a shot that goes just wide to the near side. Kanish has it back behind the goal. Kanish going from the far side to the near side into the near corner. Kanish trying to come onto this near circle. Kanish over the blue line, over center ice. Heben trying to poke it away. Kanish onto the far circle, shot there. Ravelli steers it outside into the near corner. And puck pulled. Now chipped, still loose. Bringing ahead is Bergman. Bergman down the near boards. Bergman and fired ahead all the way down. Stopped by Breyer. Puck outside the near circle. Here comes Heben. Heben. Wide angle shot. Breyer covers it up and save. 11:57 left to go here in the third. 2-1 Pioneer with the lead. St. Mary's with the last goal at 13:32. Face off in the near face off circle. That to Breyer's left. Pilar's in to take that face off versus Portinga in that near face off circle. Puck drop, puck. They're going to drop it again. That is the third goal for St. Mary's this season, and none more timely. Coming in, there's a shot by Chikachi trying to get it over the shoulder. Breyer covers it up. 11:49 left to go. Here in the third, 2-1, Pioneer with the lead. Face-off again will come into the near face-off circle. It's like Portinga again versus Pilars. Portinga gets her hair fixed up there, gets the gloves back on. That puck sent top of the near circle, bringing it ahead is Chikachi. Chikachi moves it over. That poked onto the near side is back in along the end boards. Portinga had it all the way back to the blue line over to Horvath. Horvath moves it over and along the near circle. Top of the near circle, it's Chikachi. Chikachi trying to walk through traffic. Chikachi shot that just goes wide to the far side. Racing back to get it his pace. Battle in along the far boards. Alexis Young trying to fire it back deep. That chipped off of Chikachi's skate. That'll come right outside the St. Mary's zone. Battle for it in along the near boards. Fired all the way across by Gumma. Picked up. Here it comes. Coming ahead is Pace. Pace outside the far circle. Pace into the near corner. Pace trying to get a shot away. Deflects. Pace gets it back. Another shot blocked out in front. Battle forward as that comes over. Kanish trying to get it out of the zone. Held in by Jof. Now coming the other direction. Here comes Pilars. Knocked in along the near board. Pilars gains the Pioneer zone. Pilars has that poked into the slot. Moved in along the far boards. Estella Young brings it back over. Estella Young on the near circle of her own zone. Now here comes Portinga. Portinga gains the zone. Portinga moved in along the far boards. Pace has it. Pace top of the far circle. Pace fires it. Shot there. Good save. Another shot. Another save by Breyer. Battle for it as that comes into the near corner. Bacall is trying to pull that away. 10:15 left to go here in the third. 1-goal game as Estella Young holds it in. High slot, firing it. That got blocked off of a pair of skates. Bringing ahead is Kanish. Knocked by Jof. Jof onto the far circle. Jof fires it across. Knocked away. Good defense as Small has it. Small had the lone St. Mary's goal so far. Small gains his own. Small into the near corner. That puck all the way back. Bringing ahead is Jof down the far boards. Jof gains his own. Jof top of the far circle. Jof shot there. Breyer with the save. That puck comes back in along the near boards of the neutral zone. Bergman with it. Bergman gains the zone. Offside the call. 9:33 left to go. Eben in to take the face-off versus Freeman. 9:33 left to go. 2-1 is the score. Pioneer with the lead. Chipped in along the near boards, racing back to get to it. Bergman goes back. That's going to be icing and head back the other way. 9:24 left to go here in the third. Come right back into the near face-off circle. That to Breyer's left. Freeman looks like she'll take the face-off for St. Mary. Heben on the other side. Puck comes all the way back to the blue line. Grabbing it is Bacalus. Bacalus racing through the slot. Bacalus loses an edge. That puck fired by Ross in along the far boards. Trying to grab it, battle for it in along the far boards is Saragianis trying to get to it. Pulled back by Freeman. Freeman fires it away. That'll come all the way back in along the near boards. All the way back. That'll go just wide. Puck back behind. Cundiff picks it up. Now bringing ahead is Heben. Heben making a move. Heben over the blue line. Heben over center ice. Gains the zone. Heben fires and a glove save by Breyer. Comes off to the far side. Kanish fires it all the way back into the neutral zone. Cundiff has it. Fires it. Delayed offsides. They'll come outside of the zone. 8:34 left to go here in the third. Face-off in the far face-off circle. Portingen to take the face-off versus Plars. Puck all the way back to the Pioneer blue line. Horvath has it in along the near boards of her own zone. Horvath trying to feed it away. Battle for it right at the blue line. Right in front of the Pioneer bench. Ramsey trying to poke it away there. As that is going to be a tripping call. As St. Mary's gets their second power play. Pioneer hasn't had one. So St. Mary fans go wild. Chikachi in the box. Face-off in the near face-off circle in the Pioneer zone. At puck, Pilars has it, knocked. Horvath feeds it into the far circle. Alexis Young trying to get it out of the zone, held in by Kanish. Now picked up back behind. Horvath underneath the near circle. Horvath trying to rim it around the boards, held in by Kirakosa. Battle for it comes into the near corner. Now Horvath feeding it, held in at the near point by Kirakosa. Fired right back. Horvath right back behind her own goal. Makes a move, comes in along the near boards. That fed all the way down the ice. As there is no icing when you're on the penalty kill. 7:37 left to go. Down the near boards. Poked right back in. Estella Young with it. Estella Young outside the near circle. That skies up into the far corner. Pace with it. Pace moves it in along the end boards. Kanish moves it around. Top of the far circle. Shot there by Jof. Saved by Breyer. All the way back and along the near boards. 55 seconds left in the St. Mary's power play. Puck all the way across. Jof has it for Pioneer. Jof gains the zone. Jof top of the far circle. Jof shot. That one knocked away into the near corner. 43 seconds left in the St. Mary's power play. Jof has it, top of the far circle. Jof coming in. Jof shot. Another save into the far corner. Heben trying to get to it. Jof right back behind. Jof underneath the near circle. Jof spins with it, going from the near side to the far side. Jof firing it. That knockdown picked up by Stella Young. Right out in front. Breyer with the save. 19 seconds left in the power play to St. Mary's. 6:36 left to go here in the third. Face-off in the near face-off circle. That to Breyer's left. Portinga versus Freeman in the near face-off circle. Chip by Pace into the far corner. Kanish trying to get to it. Pace and Kanish battling in that far corner. 12 seconds left on the power play. Freeman in to try and poke that away. Pace has it on the far circle. Steered away by Kanish. Kanish down the far boards into the neutral zone. As Saragianis has it there, knocked away by Cundiff, and out of the box, here comes Chikachi. Chikachi gains his own. Chikachi onto the far circle. Chikachi in, fired. Breyer with the save. 6:07 left to go here in the third. Back to 5-on-5 hockey between Pioneer and St. Mary's St. Catherine's Academy. Face-off in the far face-off circle again. It's Portinga versus Freeman. They've battled a lot this game. Puck outside the far circle, moved all the way around by Small into the near corner as we hit 6 minutes left to go here in the third. Loose and now sent ahead, grabbing it as Ramaya gets it all the way down the ice. Back to pull it away. Cundiff has it in along the end boards. Cundiff stops back behind her own goal, cuts in along underneath the near circle. Cundiff chips it down the near boards. Here comes Chikachi. Chikachi trying to get ahead to Portinga. That knocked away by Small in along the near board. Bringing ahead is Kirakosa at her own blue line. And over to Small. Small makes a move over center ice. Small down the near board. Small has the lone goal. Here comes Portinga. Portinga one-on-one. Portinga at the near circle. Shot. Breyer with the save. 5:20 left to go here in the third. Face-off in the near face-off circle. That to the left of Breyer. Heben in there versus Pilars. Puck top of the near circle. Horvath has it. Horvath trying to fire it off of a Pioneer skate. In along the far boards. Gumma has it there. Knocked down. Top of the far circle. Heben with the blast. That goes high. Glove saved by Breyer. 5:07 left to go here in the third. 2-1 Pioneer with the lead. Lone goal in the third was by Small for St. Mary. Heben versus Pilars on that far face-off circle. Moved in along the far boards by Romaya. Puck covered up. Breyer covers it up. 5:01 left to go here in the third. Again, it's going to be Heben versus Pilars in that far face-off circle to Breyer's right. Puck bouncing, fed all the way across, knocked away into the slot, trying to feed it back. That puck to the far point, now racing ahead with it. Here comes Pilars. Pilars gets around. Pilars with a shot. Saved by Ravelli. 4:46 left to go here as the clock continues to count down. I think the official going over to get it set. 4:56, I believe, was what it was. And those scoreboards aren't easy. It's all volunteers running it, and it's not easy to run one of those scoreboards. So I appreciate everyone who helps out to make these playoffs happen. 4:43. Portinga versus Pilars in the far face-off circle. Now Jof has it into the far corner, takes it back behind her own goal. Jof weaves her way through the slot. Jof into the neutral zone. Jof, 1-on-2, gains the zone. Jof outside the near circle. She'll come in, shot there as Breyer with the save. 4:25 left to go here in the third. Face-off will be to Breyer's left in the near face-off circle. Freeman looks like she's going to be in to take the face-off. Portinga on the other side. 2-1 is the score. 1-goal game. Pioneer with the lead. Puck into the slot. Portinga trying to turn with it. Kanish coming down the far boards. Tipped is Kanish. Has it poked back over to Jof. Jof comes right back into the St. Mary's zone. Jof trying to get into the slot. Jof with a shot. Breyer with another save. 4:04 left to go here in the third. Face-off in the far face-off circle. Portinga versus Freeman. That puck brought back. Kanish has it underneath the near circle of her own zone. Kanish feeding it down the near boards. That puck grabbed into the slot. As that blast by Jof and a score! Jof makes it 3-1. That is 3:51. Pioneer goal. Jof with it. She's had a great game thus far. 3:51 left in the third. 3-1 Pioneer with the lead. Face off at center ice. Heben versus Kanish. That puck down the far boards. Moved ahead. Loose, and that's sent all the way back into the Pioneer zone. Ricocheted off the dasher. Back behind the Pioneer goal. Into the near corner. Trying to dig it out of there is Heben. Heben battling a pair of St. Mary's players. That puck back to the near point as Karakosa with the shot. Good save by Ravelli. Fired out in front, loose. That comes over onto the near side of the goal. And along the near boards, there's a shot by Kirakosa. Ravelli again is saved with 3:20 left to go. Pilar is back behind the goal, coming over. Chipped and back into the neutral zone. Kirakosa has it. It's center ice in along the far boards. Kirakosa fires it. As that grab by Cundiff, top of the near circle. Cundiff feeds it over in along the near boards. Bacallis brings it ahead at center ice. Bacallis moves it over. Here comes Heben. Heben, top of the near circle. Heben firing it. That goes over the crossbar into the far corner. Outside the far circle as that moved ahead. Racing back, trying to get to it into the far corner. Bergman has it. Bergman goes back behind her goal as she was in a foot race back over there, trying to get it away as that was Pilar's back to try and get it. Kirakosa in her own zone, top of the far circle. Kirakosa moves it. That'll roll on edge all the way back to the Pioneer zone. Stopped and covered up by Ravelli. 2:31 left to go here in the third. 3-1 Pioneer with the lead. Face off in the far face off circle. That to Ravelli's left. Portinga to take the face off versus Pilars. Puck chipped in along the far boards, deflected into the far corner. Now Portinga moves it, ricochets it. Pace bringing it down the far boards, trying to get it out of her own zone. That's held in. Now fired all the way down the ice. Picked up as Kirakosa had it. That comes right back in. Portinga outside the far circle in the St. Mary's zone. Moves it back over. Pace trying to fire it. And knocked right back into the neutral zone. Racing in, trying to get to it is Freeman. Freeman onto the far circle. Freeman with the shot. Ravelli with the save. That comes outside the far circle. Battle forward is Alexis Young trying to pull that away. Puck outside the near circle. 2:56 left to go here in the third. Chikachi brings it ahead. Chikachi over to Portinga. Pilar's racing outside the near circle to grab it. Pilar's trying to shift it the other direction. Held in. Here comes Chikachi onto the near circle. Shot there. And a goal by Chikachi. That will make it 4-1 with 1:40 left to go. Well, St. Mary's has done a valiant game, playing very, very tough. But a couple late goals here in the third. And it would be a tall mountain for St. Mary's to claw to come back here, but you know they'll battle. And puck right at center ice, back into the St. Mary's zone. Kirakosa brings it in along the near boards. Grab by Jof. Jof trying to bring it ahead. Loose at center ice. Jof brings it into the St. Mary's zone. Jof moves it over. Heben has it. Poked away. And along the far board, centering attempt, knocked down, and now come all the way back into the neutral zone. Now back over, chipped away. As looking back over there was Sierra Giancis. All the way back to St. Mary's blue line. Small gets it over to Kirakosa. 1:05 left to go. Deflected back is Rosenfeld trying to get to it. Small rockets it down the far board into the neutral zone. Heben with it there. Heben brings it in. Heben, top of the far circle. Heben, shot in a goal. 51.2 seconds left. Pioneer goal. That would be Heben for the hat trick. (5-1). If I had all the scoring right, that would be Heben's third goal. So I believe she had the first two. 5-1, the St. Mary's fans giving their team a good round of applause. Big time effort, puck in along the far boards as Kong trying to send it back. Battle for it, Pilares has it. Now pulled back down the far boards. Cundiff trying to fire it ahead. Here comes Kong. Kong has that pulled back away by Pilares. Cundiff from the blue line, bouncing puck. 35 seconds left, coming down the near board. St. Mary's trying to get it ahead. Held in by Bergman. Puck goes into the far corner. 27 seconds left to go. Centering attempt, poked by Pilares all the way back to the far point. Trying to hold it in, battle for it as that comes down the ice. Chikachi has it at her own blue line. 16 seconds left to go in the third. Chikachi gains his own. All the way across, that knocked down by Gumma. Now sent all the way back into the Pioneer zone. 6 seconds, 5 seconds. Icing waved off. Now down the near boards. That will do it as Pioneer wins the opening game of the Michigan Girls.